How many are not under the age of 30? 20-somethings? Let me hear from the 20-somethings. Yeah. These are the dumbest people I've ever met in my life. Not personally, just as a group. Do me a favor, put some cash in your pocket, squeeze your debit cards every $1.17 purchase. I get so tired of standing behind on a mini mart. That's $1.17. Here's my debit card. You don't have a buck and a quarter? I know they're dumber than people my age. You know, when I was growing up, we didn't have any childproof caps. You dropped a Coke bottle, it didn't bounce, it shattered. Our parents let us play with guns and knives and fireworks. You know what happened to the dumb kids? They didn't make it. It's true. These guys grew up in a world that's childproofed and padded. All the dumb ones lived. Now they use debit cards, $1.17 purchases. You ever see what they're buying? Energy drinks. How much energy do you need in your 20s? Should be selling those at the retirement village. That's the target market right there. A couple of monsters and a Red Bull are gonna pick up that bingo game, I'm sure. B19, that's mine. A lot of our terms don't mean anything. I don't want to sound like a broken record. You know what that means, right? People under 30 never owned a record player. They don't know what that means. They don't know what that means. They don't know what that means. You still don't. You ever watch them on their smartphones? Can't put them down. Somebody calls, somebody texts, they need a tweet. Jeez, focus. You ever take a smartphone away from a 20-something? They don't know what to do. They look like they got hit with a shovel. It's like... I should have learned how to talk to people. The text never ends either. It's nonstop. Did you know in Seattle, I'm not making this up, there's a public service campaign going on. It's on the buses, in the newspapers, on the radio stations, telling young people, you cannot text 911. You have to call and use your voice. I wish I was making that up. Because apparently they've had trouble with it. OMG, someone's in the house. I am not ROFLMAO. These initials for everything you either take. It's all initials, end of a funny sentence, LOL. You know, we used to put initials at the end of a funny sentence. We used to write H-A-H-A. It's pronounced ha-ha, and it stood for ha-ha. Which is a much better way to say ha-ha than lol. You're not the first ones to use the initials, FYI. I make fun of the 20-somethings of their phones, but you know what? I'm as bad as they are. They're addictive. It's instant information at the end of your hand. It's hard to leave them alone. But I do miss the black, old-school rotary phones. You know why and what those are good for? 20-somethings, you're missing out on this. The older people remember this. Ending an argument. Yeah. Remember slamming those down? Felt good to slam a phone down. You could let some aggression out. You know what? Kiss mine. Bang. Felt good. Can't do that with a smartphone. You kiss mine, beep, click. you tear your pants pocket out doing that. Now, those old phones, there was a bell in there. You slammed it hard enough, you could ring it. Look, I see some people nodding there, remember? You know what? Kiss mine. Bing. You guys know I did this? Phones used to be on the wall. I'm not making that up. I'll tell you something else. People used to call us. We didn't know who it was. I'm not making that up either, am I? Remember the phone would ring? You would run to answer it. You pull your hamstring getting to the phone. Now you hear that thing ring, you go, whatever. And do you know why you would run? Listen to this. Do you know why you would run to the phone? Listen to this. Because if you didn't get there, there were no answering machines. Look at you looking at me like, no way. And then you didn't know. You did not know. You'd stand like, who was that? And then, listen to this. You had to call all your friends, listen to this, on numbers that you stored in your head. I'm not making that up either, am I? No. All the old people in here, they know the number of the house they grew up in. Am I right? Yeah. Now do you know your spouse's number? No. Phones are smart. We're not. Some kids are having trouble telling time now. They never see the face of a clock. They don't know how to tell time. Think about the crummy fighter pilots they're going to make. Enemy aircraft, 2 o'clock. That's in an hour.
Yeah, I will tell you though, the hardest people for me to connect with are the millennials. We have any millennials in the audience? I see a few. Yeah, it's nothing to be proud of. Let me fix that statement. You're not gonna like this part. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, here's the thing. First of all, I don't understand your phrases. Like, y'all know they have a thing called a safe space. A safe space. I'm actually jealous. I would have loved a safe space. For those of you who don't know what a safe space is, that's where you can't criticize, you can't condemn them. Like, basically, they get to avoid life. Because they have a safe space. I would have loved a safe space, especially when I was getting a spanking. Y'all don't even know what that is. I would have loved a safe space when I was getting my mom would have been like, come get this butt whooping. I'd be like, no. Excuse me? I need a safe space. A what? A safe space. My mom would have shut that down in about 5 seconds. My mom would have been like, you came through my safe space to get here. Come get this butt whooping. I would have loved that.
I like to mess with my millennial nieces and nephews. I like to ask them funny questions. The other day I asked my niece, who do you think George Foreman is? You know what she said? He's the grill guy. If you're not laughing, it's because you think he's the grill guy. He's a boxer. He's not the grill guy. She didn't know the difference. My son is a millennial. He just turned 18 years old. Do you guys know what that means? 18 means he will no longer be known as the defendant's mother. He turned 18 and he wanted wheels for his birthday, so I got him a U-Haul. That's the parent section over here. He's got them holes in his ears. You should let your kids get those holes. It makes it so much easier to chain them up. Mommy said, you're not going anywhere tonight.
A lot of comedians make fun of millennials, not me. You got it tougher. Like older guys, our lives, older women, your lives, basically your whole lives. Here's what you had to do. Something was funny, you laughed. Not millennials. You got a whole different math. It's the millennial math. It's like, okay, was that racist? Was that sexist? Was that body shaming? A lot of stuff to consider. Here's the thing that I will share with you that I will make fun of millennials. The only time millennials make me crazy is when I watch HGTV. And you'll see a millennial couple, it happens once a week on there, and they're buying a house that I will never be able to afford. And it's always something like, my name is Topher, and I'm 28. I make antique kites. And my wife makes vegan-friendly emojis. Last year we cleared almost $9,000. Our house budget is $950,000. We could go to $1 million if it helps our carbon footprint. It's like trust fund, house hunters edition or something. I get frustrated when I see that, but otherwise.
Another question people ask all the time is, what do you do in your spare time? As a married man, the answer is very simple. Whatever my wife wants to do. So, one applause. It was like, one wife, well, okay. So, my wife and I were babysitting for some friends. We were forced into it, so we were babysitting. And I just, after a half hour in this home, we were exhausted. And it was not the kids. It was the rules the parents left for us. How many of you have experienced new parent paranoia out there? All right, okay, so first off, where did all these peanut allergies come from? As I was like, we could not get into the home without going through a scanner and getting a pat down. Today, if you get a box of Cracker Jacks, it is empty, except for inside there's an EpiPen. That's all that's inside. I tell everybody, in the future, terrorists will not need guns. They won't. They're just going to throw in a jar of Jif. That's all they're going to need. It's like Allah Akbar crunchy style. That's it. Everything we had to feed to these kids had to be healthy and organic. We had to feed free-range chicken to their caged children. When I was growing up and we got hungry, our parents said, have a Twinkie and a Coke, and I'm still here, health police, choke on that. They had child-proofed the entire house. I understand hiding the knives. They had locks on the toilets. I'm sorry. If you drown in a toilet, that's nature's way of saying, you're not gonna make it. So I'm trying to MacGyver a toilet next to a wiggly 3-year-old going, gotta go potty, gotta go potty, gotta go potty, gotta go potty. It's like, aim for the window, kid, because this ain't happening here. I'm sorry. They had an entire wing of their house devoted to toys. They had a color-coded dresser for their 6 million Legos. Growing up, I had 2 Lincoln Logs. You understand that? 2. It's like, it's a cross, train track, prison bars. That's what I had. That was my childhood. We had to give them a bath. It's like, how much of a sweat could they possibly worked up playing with Legos and eating organic food all day long? And now, how do you remember this? When I grew up, we had a bath once a week. Saturday night, never got in the tub. Never. Our parents were downstairs watching Bonanza. They never checked on us. So we just, you just splashed one hand into the water. By the end of the summer, we had swarthy tans and one white glove. That's what it looked like. That was it. So. We committed the cardinal sin of letting these kids play outside, and they ratted us out. It's like, oh, Father, they let our toes touch grass. And we did not burst into flame. Hast thou lied to us? I gotta tell you, I'm worried about the next generation. I really am. I think if we keep coddling children, this is what we're gonna see in this overprotected society in just a few years. Welcome back to Millennial Baseball, where the California crybabies are going up against the Colorado snowflakes. Tension is high in the bottom of the 6th as our batter going out to the mound, to the plate rather, has self-esteem issues, and if the umpire calls a strike, he'll be guilty of a hate crime. But if the pitcher throws a ball, he'll take a self-soothing timeout. Here's the pitch. Oh, the batter connects. It's a short hopper over to right field, but currently the entire outfield is gathered in a resistance protest over in the far left. So the first baseman runs back, scoops up the ball, takes a photo and a selfie, and posts it on Instagram. He throws a heater over to second base, but the second baseman trips over the leash of their emotional support animal. So the runner rounds their way to third. The third base life coach waves him into home, which is where he'll be staying 5 minutes after he graduates. The second baseman gets the ball, wipes off the slobber, throws it home, the runner slides, and the umpire calls him out. But to keep it fair, both teams score 1 run each here on Millennial Baseball.
Here's what I say. I do try to help. Now, as much as I am this guy that talks about the millennial and stuff like that, I do try to help. I will defend your generation. Because here's the knock on the millennials and their generation. You hear it all the time, the young people. You hear that you are a coddled generation, and then when you get turned out into the real world, you're not ready for the real world, and you end up back at home, right? That's the knock on them. That's not their fault. Don't ever talk about them that's saying that's their fault. That's not on them. That's on you as a parent. Because at some point in time, we changed parenting. And somebody told the young people, oh, you have to tell them to follow their dreams. Just encourage them. Don't listen to anyone. You just follow your dreams no matter what somebody says. And they get turned out in the real world, and they realize there's no financial backing for a cat water park, and then they're back in your house. That's you. That's your fault.
I really like the young. My only complaint about the young, and this is really my only complaint, is that they keep misusing the phrase, no worries. Every time I go to check into a hotel with my credit card and driver's license in hand at the ready, they're always there behind the desk. Every once in a while you get one of these antisocial millennials, I got that not long ago. I walk up to the desk, I'm holding the cards, 3 inches from his head. And he's there, playing, Dirty Birds with Words. One of those games I got no use for. And he doesn't look up, because that would give me dignity. And he just goes, yes, credit card and license. I mean, it's right here. It's right there. Credit card and license. And I resolved, I'm not going to say a word. I'm just going to freeze. I'm freezing right near his head, freezing. I'm not kidding. It was like 35, 40 seconds before he thought, did that guy maybe go away? So finally he looks up and he sees it right here. And he takes it from me. And I said to him, if you had looked up before you asked me for it, you would have noticed that they were there at the ready for you to take. And he says, oh, no worries. I said, no, I don't think you understand. I'm scolding you. I think the phrase you're searching for is, I'm sorry.
Couldn't we use a little more of that in the world, ladies and gentlemen? People thinking how they can do something because I worry about the world. I see, not all of them, but some of my friends' kids, the overpraise of children all the time. I mean, I live in LA, and these kids, you go to dinner. When I was a kid, you were seen and not heard. Therefore, you learn something, discipline, how to behave, and maybe you learn something from adult conversation. Now you go to these people's houses, and all of a sudden they'll go, stop, let's hear what Oliver has to say. Oliver's 8. I don't care what Oliver has to say. Okay, so he killed a worm today. Big deal. And the parents are going, he's a genius, and you look at him. There's nothing wrong with positive reinforcement. When you're telling kids you're a genius, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're setting them up for a bad deal. And these kids, I just don't understand. They're 26 years old. I think that healthcare, the Obama healthcare, started all this because they would sell it by going, and you can keep your kids on the insurance policy till they're 26. You're not a kid when you're 26. By the age of 26, I had been married twice and had 4 cars and had been in jail. It was nothing bad. Non-payment of fines, that's all it was. But at 26, what is that? You can't get them out of the house. Some of you may remember this. When I was a kid, I loved my mom and dad, but I wanted out of the house. Does anybody remember that? I want out. Now you can't get them out. You come home, they're like giant manatees lying around the living room. Get out. Out. You slug, you big slug. And they crawl down into the basement. All these kids are living in the basement now. And one day they gotta come out. That's the zombie apocalypse when they come out of the basement. I have friends or kid, the kid must be 30. He lives in the, I said, what's he doing? Well, he's looking for a job. In the basement? Well, he's got the internet. He's got a girlfriend. In the basement? On the internet. Yeah, that must be a real romance. I'm afraid I'm going to be over there about 5 years from now. Come out of the basement. My parents said I could stay in the basement. Your parents have been dead for 5 years.
Millennial cops are entering the police force. I'm going to say it one more time. Millennial cops are entering the police force. We were reading reports one night. It was a DUI report, and it was nothing but emojis. So, what is this? The younger officer's like, what are you talking about, Sarge? Drunk emoji, get to the jail, poop emoji, poop emoji. Oh, I guess it's okay then. The funny thing is a lot of these guys and gals, they don't want to drive normal cop cars, you know, like Interceptors and Tahoes. They want to drive Priuses. But Priuses that are only battery powered. Can you imagine somebody calling 911? There's been a terrible accident. Send help. I can't, Sarge. I haven't recharged yet. I haven't recharged yet. They try to do a roadblock. People just like kick the car out of the way.
Yeah, I did do the millennial thing in my 30s. I did move back home, but I don't rely on my parents. Like, I have my own Netflix account. It's fine. So, doing okay. And it does make dating tough. I'll tell you, like, so if I'm dating a girl, I don't tell her I'm living at home. I tell her I'm staying at an Airbnb with an older couple that happens to just look like me. And they might call me son, and they might have pictures that say proof, but that does not mean they're my parents. Man. Another thing about myself, guys, I don't make a lot of good decisions. I really don't. Like, there was this one time I got a text message, and it was from the wrong number. And the text message said, "Hey, babe, can you pick up the kids after school?" I probably should have texted back, wrong number, but instead I texted, yes. They text back right away. They're like, "Thanks, you're the best." I text back, "I know." And then this time they text again. This time they say, "I love you." And I'm too far in, so I'm like, "I love you too." Look, guys, I know I need to tell them this is a wrong number, but I've also never done this good in a relationship before. Like, I don't know the last time I said I love you to anybody. And now I'm saying it as a fake husband. Or wife. I don't even know which one I am right now. But it's almost time to pick up these kids, so I need to say something, so I finally do. I text back, I'm like, "Hey, this is a wrong number. This turned into a joke, and this clearly got out of hand. I'm sorry, I'm a terrible person. Do you still want me to pick up your kids?" And they said yes, so
we go out to dinner these nights, you know, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll have the surf and turf." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll have that steak medium rare." And I'm like, "What happened to chicken nuggets and a plastic cup of milk?" Like, I so cannot afford them anymore. It just keeps happening. Yeah, and I have a daughter. She's 21. Yeah, anyone else with that kind of joy, pain, and agony in their life? Oh my gosh. It's just a weird time. Her hormones are checking in. Mine are completely checking out. You know, just a weird time in our lives. And she's up in Canada for college, you know, because they don't take SAT scores. Oh, come on. You all have one. You all have one that you know is just not quite the brightest bulb in the box. And if you're not laughing, you are that bulb. You know what I'm saying? You know. Canada. Yeah, all right. That works. You know right now. You know right now. You do. Because she said stupid stuff all the time. Here's an example. We're going down to Maryland for a little summer weekend, just the two of us to meet friends are all down there. And she's sitting next to me in the car, next to me. And she goes, "Hey, Mom, can you see me in your rearview mirror?" Thank you, sir. You got that right away. I did. I was like, "No, I cannot see you or high school graduation." What? What are you talking about? And there she is a few years later. She's in her teens, okay? We're walking towards Target because I needed underwear. They sell them in 6-packs and 8-packs at this point. That's how we rock and roll at this age. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. So we're walking towards Target. She finally looks up from her phone and she goes, "Hey, Mom, what does the symbol for Target mean?" Again, intelligent crowd, intelligent crowd. What does the symbol for Target mean? I just looked at her and go, "It means community college, honey." She went, "Does it really?" I was like, yes! I'm so saving on this one. I am. It's great. She really does. She hates that joke. She does. She gets so annoyed. I mean, it's just a circle within a circle. So makes it a target! Sorry. It's a lot to keep up with millennials. I'm trying really hard. Oh, man. And she gets me sometimes. She was up in Canada. That's where she is. And it was the first day of spring. So I sent her a little text. And I was like, "Hey, sweetie, first day of spring. Hope things are warming up for you up there in Canada. Love you, Mom." And I put like a little Easter bonnet emoji, and sent it off. Ding! And 2 seconds later, I get back. "Thanks, Mom. Why'd you send me an emoji of a taco?" I didn't. It's an Easter bonnet. And she was like, "Put your glasses on. It's taco." And she was right. So close. So close. I'm fighting with millennials, isn't it? It's tough. It's tough, millennials. Oh my goodness. Are my husband and I, are we the only ones that is actually texting our kids from the kitchen when they're upstairs? Oh, no, right? I'm not the only one, right? No. Every night, my husband's like, "Tell the kids dinner's ready." And I'm like, I do not want to talk to them. I'm texting them from the kitchen. They're upstairs. And I go, "Hey, dinner's ready. What is it?" "Something you'll hate. Just come down." And they don't move. They don't move. So I call her. I call my daughter. She's upstairs. I call her on the phone. And I was like, and she does this. "Huh?" Why do millennials talk like that? Why must they talk like that? "Huh? What do you want? What do you want?" I want you to get a job interview. That's what I want. I want you to enunciate. That's what I want. I want you to actually pronounce a word. You use the muscles in your mouth and say something like hello, not huh. Huh. But we have to be nice to millennials. We do, right? We have to. They're going to rule the world. And I hope they develop an app where somebody changes my diaper every hour on the hour. Because they're going to wheel me in a hallway in a chair somewhere. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. I got to be nice. Got to be nice.
It's pretty dope. I'm the youngest dry bar comic, which is super cool. 22. Yeah. I didn't do anything for that. I just lived. But yeah, the last dude was 24, but I won. I beat him. It's cool. Yeah, I've been doing stand-up since I was 11 years old. I've been doing it for 10 years, yeah. So this past, thank you again, thank you. I'm a prodigy, you're right. This past year I actually had the opportunity to tour with a comic named Sinbad. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him. He's really popular in like the 40s, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure some of you guys heard of him. No, going on tour with him was really hard. Because there was a big age difference in the crowds. Like most of his audience is like 40 plus. And so it's hard because I'm a millennial too, And so being a millennial is hard alone. There's a lot of stuff I don't know. And I don't care either. That's the problem. So I could care less. But I realized like how much stuff I didn't know that you guys went through. And I say you guys because I see some people in here who are, seasoned. There's some experience in here is what I'm trying to say. Like, who in here is over 40? That's what's up. Again, there's more in here, but that's okay. I can see you. I can see you. No, but I realized this the other day. You guys didn't have your phones for like GPS and stuff.
We can read a map.
Yeah. You had to use a map. what kind of foolishness? Like, where were you searching for treasure in the 80s? Like, what were you doing? Is this Dora the Explorer? What were you doing? I had no idea. Somebody wrote me a check the other day. I was like, I see the money on the paper. But how do I make this money the other money? I don't understand. How to do that.
But you know, I'm actually afraid of living in a nursing home when I get older, because I'm afraid of who I'm going to be living with. Have you guys seen My Generation lately? Pray for me. We're all gonna look 95 but identify as 25. And we're still gonna be borrowing somebody older's money somehow. And then we're gonna have gangs in nursing homes. Of course we will. But the gangs will be called the Cripsitis and the Blood Clots.